Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 5th of October 2022. And to be honest, the global cryptocurrency market is not having much of an action. The price of Bitcoin and most of the cryptocurrencies are moving sideways. Now the global cryptocurrency market has marginally improved, but stable coins is the majority of the chunks as far as the cryptocurrency volume is concerned. So the big question is, are stable coins turning out to be a safe haven for the cryptocurrency market? Now, this is definitely not ideal. Now, if you look at today's volume, the 24-hour global crypto market is $60.14 billion, and out of that, $55.86 billion is stable coins. And this is really not ideal when you talk about the global adoption of cryptocurrencies. And in today's episode, we'll be talking about how the US Department of Treasury, they have released a report explaining the digital asset financial stability and risks and regulations, and it has a lot to do with regarding stable coins. And in today's episode, I'm also going to be talking about an event that I plan to have next month, talking about central bank digital currencies. So how stable coins will be connected to central bank digital currencies. In today's episode, we're also going to be talking about two technical reports. Now, Glassnodes, they do tend to provide a weekly insight that talks everything about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and overall cryptocurrency, what has happened in the last week. And along with Glassnodes, CoinShares, they tend to provide a weekly snapshot, and I particularly like CoinShares blog because they are very concise and very brief. So we'll very briefly talk about that. But the big news that is going on in the cryptocurrency world is McDonald's, and they have started to accept Bitcoin. And there is a video which is circulated by Bitcoin magazine that actually explains how the transactions can be done. And there is also indication that Tether USDT may also be used to purchase. And this is a massive news by McDonald's. Later on in the episode, we'll also talk about MasterCard, and they have launched a new crypto fraud protection tool. So we'll be exploring that news in detail. And finally, regarding NFTs, we have some positive news. And this is to do with British pop legend David Bowie. So I'll be explaining what the NFT is all about. Regarding UAE, I have two news as well. The first news is about World Blockchain Summit that takes place in Dubai at the iconic location in Atlantis, the Palm. And the second news is about the Ethereum Beginner's Guide that I plan to have 2 days from now. That is on the 7th of October. And listen guys, every month I have a Bitcoin Beginner series, an Ethereum Beginner series. Now this particular Ethereum Beginner series will be a little bit different because it'll be the first time that I'm talking about Ethereum post Ethereum merge. So please feel free to attend it. The sessions are completely free of cost, and in today's episode I'll go ahead and explain what are the details in that series. So before we kickstart today's episode, I have a quiz for today, and the quiz is, do you think 2 years from now Binance USD will take over the volume of Tether USDT that is only to do with stable coins? So whatever your opinion, suggestion or comments are, mention them in the comments below. Now let's kickstart today's episode. So welcome everyone, it's 18 here in Dubai and you're listening to Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. News that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And this is followed by Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. Now every Fridays we have an episode called Metaverse Everything where we solely focus on Metaverse. So please check out those episodes as well. The format for Metaverse Everything podcast is completely different. And what I tend to do is I tend to publish a daily and weekly report via my LinkedIn profile. So please follow me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile is in the show notes below. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly guys, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI if you're using an Android version. go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called Rise in the Obstacle Course Race, and Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. Next, Vertex Events have organized the first ever blockchain summit in the history of the World Expo on 10th to 11th of October 2021 at Dubai Expo 2022. Now they are planning to organize a 2 days blockchain summit in 2022 on the 14th and 15th of October at Grand Hyatt Dubai UAE. And Blockchain Dubai Summit is one of the most innovative and interactive summits in the Middle East. Industry leaders from the world of blockchain, digital assets will gather to discuss advantages of blockchain, crypto, DeFi, NFT and Metaverse, a brilliant event to network with leading personalities in the space. There are a couple of packages and opportunities for sponsorship, so click on the link below to know everything about Vertex Events, and the website is vertexgroups.ae, or also drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, since we have taken care of that, let's look at the price of the global cryptocurrency market, which is currently at $967.91 billion. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.55%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is marginally up in comparison to previous weeks on Wednesdays, and it is currently at $60.14 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 8.67%. The total volume of DeFi, though, is ridiculously low, and it is down to $3.62 billion, and the total value locked as of 5th of October is $55.79 billion, and MakerDAO accounts for 13.92% of all the total value locked, with $7.61 billion locked in MakerDAO protocol, and DeFi accounts for 6.02% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now let's talk about the next matrix, which is extremely worrisome, especially in 2022, and that is the volume of stable coins. Now the volume of stable coins is down to $55.86 billion, and it accounts for 92.88% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of this $55.86 billion, Tether USDT accounts for $44.54 billion, USDC accounts for $3.6 billion, and Binance USD, which has been picking up ridiculous pace for the last 3 weeks, is at $6.8 billion. So the question that I really want to ask is, what is going on with stable coins since the last 6 months or so? Something is definitely not right, guys. Firstly, the volume is ridiculously low, and stablecoin accounts for over 90% A few days ago, I talked about how stablecoin accounted for over 95% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, and today's episode we'll discuss why that is not ideal. Now let's quickly look at the market share, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's market share is at $389 billion, and Ethereum, ever since the post-merge, is down to less than 50% of the market share of Bitcoin. It is down to $166 billion. Now, the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $35 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $10 billion. And the dominance for Bitcoin has gone up, and it is up to 40.20%. And the dominance of Ethereum has gone down to 17. It's a really interesting matrix for the 5th of October. Now let's quickly look at the price of the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now since the last 24 hours, it is up by 3.04%, and it is currently at $20,211. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 5.58%. Ethereum is currently at $1,357. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.50%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 1.77%. And Binance Coin is currently at $295. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 3.17%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 8.34%. So if you look at the top 3 cryptocurrency platforms, not counting the stable coins, it does look green. And I just have this gut feeling, guys, that the price could either go completely up or down this week, and this is purely gut feeling with no matrix backed up to it. And one thing which I say, so far as price predictions are concerned, my price predictions and all of the cryptocurrency influencers, celebrities' price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Now let's talk about stable coins. And one thing which I've been saying, particularly for the past 6 months, is that stable coins is turning out to be the safe haven for cryptocurrency market, and this is definitely not ideal. And what happened earlier today, one of my connections via LinkedIn did actually post a really important article, and this is to do with the US Department of Treasury. And US Department of Treasury has released a report on digital asset, financial stability, risks and regulations. Now this is a really great and informative post. The report is well over 128 pages long that talks about financial stability risks, enforcements of existing regulatory structure and regulatory gaps, and also has some recommendations. But what has happened is that the leaders of the House Financial Services Committee are currently negotiating a bill that would put stablecoin businesses that issue dollar-pegged digital tokens that are widely used on exchanges and marketplaces under the Federal Reserve's purview. Now I have mixed reaction to this. If you literally go by the books, I do agree to what the Federal Reserve are doing, because at the end of the day, a lot of the stablecoin issuers are taking the role of a bank, and Gary Gensler has been constantly saying that stablecoin issuers needs to be treated as a bank. But on the other hand, the whole idea of having a cryptocurrency and the whole idea and the movement of Bitcoin is separation of money and the state. Now, to be honest, I haven't read this report because it's ridiculously long, but over the weekend, I'm definitely going to read through this. And one thing, guys, which I always worry is it's moves such as this, and it's the volume of stable coins makes it easier for central banks to transition to central bank digital currencies. And later on in the month, I do have a session discussing everything about central bank digital currencies. And via Eventbrite, I do plan to have a session discussing everything about stable coins. So it's going to be a 2-part series exploring what is stable coins, the history of stable coins, the good part of stable coins, the bad and the ugly side of stable coins. So please feel free to follow Blockchain DXB via Eventbrite. I think I have over 7 or 8 events, and all of these events are completely free of cost. And in today's UAE news, I'll also be talking about the Ethereum Beginner's Guide. Now let's look at some technical information that is going on last week in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Glassnode's weekly insight states that Bitcoin's hash rate has reached a new all-time high, and it also talks about how the British pound fell to an all-time low against the US dollar. And what happened was that the Bank of England re-established quantitative easing to re-liquefy markets. And this is something which I talked about in yesterday's podcast as well. one of the listeners did ask me a question about Robert Kiyosaki, and he did actually comment that the US dollar is going to follow the path of the British pound, and that's one of the reasons why he thinks that the US currency could actually go completely berserk in January, and I'd given my opinions on that, and Glassnode has echoed the same thing as well. But what they did mention in that report is that the Bitcoin prices, though, have remained notably stable. If you are into technical charts and graphs, do follow Glassnodes and do look at the reports. They do tend to provide a weekly insight and they publish it every Monday. Now, along with Glassnodes, CoinShares, they also have a weekly blog, and they have mentioned via the blog that $10 million has been seen in inflows last week. And it states that investors are a little bit hesitant so far as Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are concerned. So the big question is, could this mean that the price of cryptocurrencies will probably go down? Now remember, this information is from last week, but if you look at the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum and Binance, they have gone up. So one thing which I always say, the price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Now let's talk about the next massive news, and that is about McDonald's. Now McDonald's has started to accept Bitcoin as a payment method in the 63,000 populated city of Laguna, and Bitcoin Magazine, they have mentioned via Twitter, and the tweet also has a short video explaining how the transaction works. And Cointelegraph, they have mentioned an article where they actually mentioned or they spotted that in the machine where Bitcoin was accepted, it also had a Tether USDT logo. Now, could this also mean that apart from accepting Bitcoin, even Tether USDT is being accepted by McDonald's? So it's going to be really interesting to see how the news develops. And in the article, they also mentioned that in March of 2022, the city of Laguna did announce it would accept Bitcoin, Tether, and LVGA token as legal tender. So definitely positive news for Bitcoin, definitely positive news for the city of Laguna, and definitely positive news for McDonald's as well. Now let's talk about MasterCard. Now MasterCard has launched a new crypto fraud protection tool, and it is called as Crypto Secure. And its new product, Crypto Secure, allows banks to find and prevent fraud on crypto merchant platforms within its network. And Crypto Secure is a MasterCard company as well. It is a California-based startup for blockchain security, and I believe MasterCard did acquire them in 2021. But this begs this big question. Why was Bitcoin created? And this goes back, guys, to the basics of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created so that there is no central entity or medium involved between peer-to-peer. Now, this at the outset might look like a positive news, but it also means that Crypto Secure and MasterCard are in a position to go ahead and block these transactions. So I have a mixed reaction to this. Now let's talk about the next news, that is NFTs of British pop legend David Bowie. Now, if you are someone from Europe, you definitely need to know about David Bowie, and he's a fashion icon and a British pop legend. So the news is that the British pop legend's rare David Bowie NFT collaboration with Fortius sells for $127,000, and CoinDesk article states that David Bowie Estate partnered with top NFT marketplace OpenSea to tell Bowie on the blockchain. Now, people in England, they do actually idolize David Bowie. I'm not sure people in US or Australia do idolize David Bowie as much as people from England and Europe. He's an absolute fashion icon. So the news is that a 15-piece NFT collection to commemorate the British pop legend and the colorful motifs used throughout his career. So if you do want to find out, go through OpenSea. Absolutely positive and brilliant news. Now guys, let's talk about two news regarding UAE. And the first news is the World Blockchain Summit is back in Dubai in an iconic location in Dubai, Atlantis, the Palm. So let me try to give you some information about what the Blockchain Summit is. Now, if you do want to get general information, the website is worldblockchainsummit.com. But if you do want to get Dubai-specific event information, the website is worldblockchainsummit.com/Dubai. And the World Blockchain Summit is a global series of elite gatherings that take place in 16 destinations across the world. And World Blockchain Summit connects global blockchain gurus and technology players in this space, including emerging startups, with regional businesses, government authorities, IT leaders, tech entrepreneurs, investors, and blockchain developers. And the summit features enterprise use cases, government use cases, inspirational keynotes, panel discussion, tech talks, blockchain exhibitions, startup pitch competition, and a host of networking opportunities. And this is it, if not one of the most beautiful locations in Dubai, Atlantis, the Palm. And this is done under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Jumma Ahmad Jumma Al Maktoum. So definitely positive news. So the World Blockchain Summit, the largest global series of blockchain, crypto and Web3 events, is taking place between the 17th and 18th of October. And the World Blockchain Summit Dubai is hosting the most influential thought leaders on blockchain, crypto, NFT, Web 3.0 and Metaverse to explore the market's effects on commerce, banking, gaming, culture and community development. And Furkan Russell, who's the CEO of Elite Partner Investment, who I believe are the main founders and investors of World Blockchain Summit, has said, Dubai is the right place for innovation in the blockchain space. We are happy to be working with World Blockchain Summit to achieve the vision set by the government of Dubai on its blockchain and metaverse strategy. On the website, they have a list of speakers, but to be honest, there are only few speakers, or rather two speakers, that I would like to recommend. The first one is Sandeep Naiwal, who's the co-founder of Polygon, and the second one is Paul, who's from Pantera Capital, and the third one maybe will be Talal Taba, who's the CEO of CoinMena. Other than that, to be honest, I'm not too keen on attending this event because all of the speakers, what they tend to do is they have a different narrative of promoting their own product or project. So there are three people that I would recommend. One is Sandeep Naiwal, who's the co-founder of Polygon, Paul from Pantera Capital, and the third one is Talal Taba, who's the CEO of CoinMena. So he will give some really good insights regarding cryptocurrency exchanges, especially in the Middle East. And the topic of discussion that they plan to have at the World Blockchain Summit is NFTs in the future of Metaverse, from Web 2.0 to 3.0, current state of DeFi, navigating blockchain and digital assets as a venture capitalist firm, decentralized autonomous organizations or DAO, and how to implement corporate governance, practical implementations of CBDCs, that is central bank digital currencies, the institutionalization of crypto markets, and regulatory advances in crypto. Now, to be honest, none of these topics are particularly to do with blockchain as such. It is more about institutions trying to make money out of it. So to be honest, I'm not too keen on attending this event. Now, the next news that I'd like to talk about is an event that I'm currently doing, and it is on Ethereum Beginner's Guide, and this takes place on the 7th of October from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. And this event is done purely in line with Dubai Blockchain Strategy, an initiative to train, educate, and consult the people on blockchain technology. Now, these events are completely free of cost. You can find information about this event on Eventbrite.com or BlockchainDXB.com, or guys, just drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. What I'll try to do is I'll also try to go live on a couple of apps, that is Podbean, Angami, which is a locally based podcasting app, or maybe even on Twitter Space as well. Now let me quickly run through the topics that I'm going to be discussing on the 7th of October. And this event is going to be different because I'm going to be talking about the post-merge era of Ethereum. But we're going to start off with discussing what is Ethereum. We'll discuss the history of Ethereum, we'll explore the projects before Ethereum, and I'll explain the key difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll explore the challenges faced by Ethereum before the merge date and also after the merge date. And what I particularly like about Ethereum is the London hard fork, which actually changes the supply of Ethereum, and the supply is very smartly managed. And the big question is, can Ethereum flip Bitcoins? We'll explore that in detail. I'll also share information on how to get involved in Ethereum, how to build on Ethereum, who are the different competitors of Ethereum such as Solana, EOS, Algorand, and different blockchain protocols. We'll also explore the current and the future state of Ethereum. Now, this session is ideally suited to someone with little or no experience, so it's going to be at a very basic, beginner, and maybe even a little bit advanced level of understanding of Ethereum, but you do not require absolutely any technical information, and the sessions are completely free of cost, and I will not be giving absolutely any investment advice. So that's all for today, guys, in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now, guys, for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee a Date, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee a Date works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And this is followed by Ask Me Anything series that you're listening to right now, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. I have a question by Dawn who asks, what are your thoughts on the XRP price hike recently? Now, Dawn, to be completely honest, I'm not a fan of XRP or RippleNet as a company, so I do not pay a lot of attention to, if I'm being completely honest, on the price of XRP. Now, the XRP army used to be ridiculously strong in 2017 or 18. Now, at this point in time, I do not see the XRP army as excited about the XRP price. One reason which I can think of why the price has seen a recent hike is because of the investigation with the SEC. My thoughts on XRP and RippleNet is it does not fall under the blockchain protocol, because I think by now everyone knows that RippleNet or XRP, they do not work on blockchain technology, rather it is a software. So there is a big debate if there is a need for XRP in the first place as well. So that's one of the reasons, Don. To be honest, I'm not too keen, and my thoughts about the XRP price is that it ideally does not make any difference in the cryptocurrency world because it is a software. And is it good that they're trying to win against the SEC? To be honest, I don't think so. Despite what a lot of people say about the Security Exchange Commission, if you look at information from the first source, if you go to the Security Exchange Commission website, if you listen to what Gary Gensler is talking about Bitcoin on cryptocurrencies, you will definitely agree to what Gary Gensler is saying. Based on his thought process, XRP could be a security, and I partially agree to that as well. Now, the big debate is, should the SEC be having an investigation against XRP, or should it be the CFTC, because the legal jurisdiction does not fall under SEC, and that's one of the reasons why the price of XRP is increasing. But despite me not liking XRP and RippleNet, I must say that they do solve a lot of the problems that Bitcoin did not solve. So this whole notion of banking, being banked, and transferring money from one country to another, XRP or RippleNet does do an absolutely brilliant job and at a cost-effective way. Now you got to give credit for that. And one thing which I always say is that XRP and RippleNet does solve a lot of the problems that Bitcoin has failed to solve. And going back to the whole El Salvador situation, one thing which I always think is that if the president did actually wanted to help El Salvadorians, he could have issued a stablecoin, or he could have just implemented XRP and RippleNet that would have actually benefited individuals or El Salvadorians. And I really am not sure the whole move of making Bitcoin a legal tender turned out to be a positive news for El Salvadorians. And going back to your question, what are my thoughts on XRP? I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of XRP, and one of the co-founders of XRP, he's also having an advertisements trying to change Bitcoin's underlying protocol from proof of work to proof of stake. Now, his intentions might be good, but if that change does actually happen, it does not stop other changes to happen in Bitcoin protocols as well. So, my thoughts on XRP is I'm not too keen on the price of XRP, to be honest. I have another question by Risk who asks, will you share some information about coding for Ethereum and dApps? Now, unfortunately, Riz, in the event that takes place on the 7th of October, I will not be giving out any coding experience information as such, or I will not be making any demonstrations of as coding is concerned, because the fact is, I don't know coding myself, so I cannot write even a single line of coding. But what I will do, Riz, is I will share resources on where and how you can learn coding. In fact, in yesterday's episode, I talked about an event which is taking place called as Blockchain Economy Dubai. So, Riz, check out Blockchain Economy Dubai. And there is a really great speaker called Ivan, and he has a series on YouTube called as Ivan on Tech. And he is in Dubai, and he'll be one of the speakers. Now, Ivan on Tech is, if not one of the OGs, so far as coding for Ethereum and other blockchain protocol is concerned. So if you are in Dubai, you can definitely hit up Ivan on Tech. I believe right now he's working with his own project called as Morales. So you can definitely speak to him directly. He's in Dubai, and I do think he's a very approachable person, and he's a very likable person. So you can get in touch with Ivan on Tech and ask him information about Morales. I really am not sure if the courses are free or not, because I do think in the earlier Ivan on Tech platform that he had, you had to pay a subscription fee, but 100% worth it. But to answer your question regarding the event on 7th of October, personally I will not be showing any coding, but I will share some resources on where you can get coding, and I'll try to find out ways, in terms of where you can learn and experiment on these codings completely free of cost as well. So that's all for today, guys, in the Crypto and Coffee Update from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and check out my website blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee Update, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes in the Crypto and Coffee Update works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies and some major breaking news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And this is followed by Ask Me Anything series that you're listening to right now, where we go ahead and answer any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and see you tomorrow in the Crypto and Coffee Date podcast. Have a nice one. Bye-bye.